Hey guys, video number 2 for the 1 Peter 3:1 and 2 series. If you're new to my channel, my name is Alana. Please like this video and subscribe, and check out the first video before you watch this one so that you can watch them in order. Today I wanted to cover the second part of the verse. I'll just read the whole thing. It says, "Likewise, wives, be subject to your own husbands, so that even if some do not obey the word, they may be won without a word by the conduct of their wives, when they see your respectful and pure conduct." Last video we talked about wives be subject to your own husbands. Today we're going to talk about so that even if some do not obey the word. This does not only apply to non-believers. That's the first thing you think of, but this can apply to a believer that's just being disobedient in that moment. You know, when you have a tense moment with your husband and he's harsh with you, or not the kindest or not the most patient, he's not obeying the word at that moment. So this still applies even in those tiny little moments, all the way to the worst case scenario when they are just hardened to the Lord, rejecting Christ, running from the Lord, not saved, and everything in between. Like, God is so incredible. This verse applies to all of us, you guys, all of us, in the big and the small ways. I wanted to talk about even if some do not obey the word. So if you're married to a non-believer, the Lord is amazing. He loves us even while we were still sinners. He died for us. That's how he demonstrates his love for us. That while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. If your husband is not a believer, the Lord desires that he will come to know him. And so we should be praying night and day for their salvation. I know that every situation is going to vary in how free you are to share the gospel with your husband. He may be totally open to those discussions. He may be totally closed to those discussions. You can pray for the opportunity that he would be open. If that doesn't work out, still pray that others will share the gospel with him. Pray that he will come across something that points him to the gospel. Something, anything, some way that the Lord will bring him the good news if you are not able to yourself, because he doesn't want to talk to you about it. But if you are able to talk to him about it, if he is open to that, be brave and bold and share the gospel with him, the good news with him, as often as he lets you, and pray for his heart. Pray. We are not the Holy Spirit. We cannot change our husbands, but we can pray for them without ceasing, and we can plead with them and urge them the urgency of following Christ. And so I would encourage you to not lose heart if you can't talk to your husband. You can talk to God, and the Lord can send people to talk to him, and the Lord himself can talk to him. And you can, without a word, be a light in your home, shining so bright for Christ, not just by respecting and submitting to your husband, but being filled with the fruit of the Holy Spirit, just pouring out of you, exemplifying love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and faithfulness and gentleness and self-control. This man is going to be like, what on earth is this woman? And the only answer is, I know and I love Jesus. That's the only answer. And the Holy Spirit can use you to convict him and bring him to the understanding that he needs the Lord. That is going to look so different in so many ways, in so many homes, in so many marriages. This is just a beautiful, practical thing to do in your home that the Lord can use in many ways. But it is not a guaranteed formula. I do think that we can have joy simply in the fact that we are obeying Christ. And if he's calling us to do these things, and even if it doesn't seem like anything is coming out of it, just know you are obeying the Lord. Do not grow weary of doing good. Do not grow weary. Continue, press on in obeying the Lord. And he may use it in your husband's life. And if he doesn't, it is not because you didn't do something right or live up to something. It is just because some people suppress the truth. Some people suppress the gospel and deny and reject Christ. And we cannot make them accept. Hold fast to what is true and obey the Lord. Ask the Lord for his help to continue to strengthen you, to obey and live in faith, and to change your husband's heart. And then in the smaller situations where you do have a believing husband, and you could easily jump into an argument and discuss all the reasons why he's doing the wrong thing or thinking the wrong thing or whatever. Maybe sometimes choose silence and a smile. Silence and a sweet servant attitude. Silence and compassion and sympathizing with him. And let the Holy Spirit work. And that's the thing I want to help you focus on, is forget yourself. Forget your silly little emotions, that self-focus, entitled, and think about, what's he going through? How can I pray for him and serve him? How can God use me in his life? And see what God does. If he were to like give me a snappy response to something, and instead of me snapping right back, just responding kindly and graciously, he will probably come back around and be like, man, I'm sorry for my tone when I answered you, and I can forgive him and move forward. But if I came back, then now it's a war, right? But if you don't come back and you just let the Holy Spirit work for a minute, right? Or if he's too harsh with the kids for whatever reason, and you can be like, what are you doing? Don't do that, you're being mean, and interfere. Or say, guys, let's all leave the room. Daddy needs a minute. Be on his side. Let the Holy Spirit work. And before you know it, he's coming around and saying, man, I was too harsh with the kids. I need to go apologize to them. I'm sorry. Instead of, why are you opposing me in front of the kids, right? You have two choices every time. Every time. What I urge you to do is to choose to support him, cover him with grace and love and mercy, accept him, bless him, serve him, help him. And even if he is not obeying the Lord, that conduct can be used by the Lord in his heart. So that's today's video. Be on the lookout for the third video, and God bless you guys. Please subscribe and like this video.